Unleash your potential. Unleash your potential, reach for the stars, electric dreams align, show them who you are, unleash your potential. Yo, 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 let's go. 1, 2, 3, unleash and grow. Embrace the vibe, set it free, your potential unlocked, just believe. Psychedelic journeys, hearts aligned, step into the future, greatness redefined. Unleash your potential, set your dreams free. In a world of stars, become who you want to be. Stand tall in the storm, embrace the rain, ride the wave of success, break every chain.
Welcome to the Expanding Your Energy Field Activation.
Unleash your potential. Yo, 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 let's go. 1, 2, 3, unleash and grow. Embrace the vibe, set it free. Your potential unlocked, just believe. Unleash your potential. Unleash your potential, reach for the stars, electric dreams align, show them who you are, unleash your potential. Yo, 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 let's go. 1, 2, 3, unleash and grow. Embrace the vibe, set it free, your potential unlocked, just believe.
It is another morning, another time, another privilege, another opportunity to learn how to unleash our potential, which is not an option, an obligation, not an option, not a privilege, no, not a choice, but an obligation. Another time, another opportunity, another favorable atmosphere. Good morning. Thank you that you join us again for Kings 88.5 Weekend Motivational Talk Saturday. Unleash your potential. I'm Sam Andrews.
Unleash your potential. Yo, let's go. 1, 2, 3, unleash and grow. Embrace the vibe, set it free. Your potential unlocked, just believe. Unleash your potential.
Last week it was happiness, making oneself happy, not frowning, not getting vexed with life, with friends, with God, with the devil, but just being happy. Make yourself happy. And that is the ultimate goal of advancing oneself, because all of those things are part of human existence. The natural and supernaturals are there. It is unto every human being to worry. If that wasn't true, you will not hear God say, "Can the many worries add a single stature to your life?" It is unto the human being to experience temptations, trials, setbacks, challenges of all kinds. But those are transitory. Why? Because there are solutions available to wipe away those things. They are not permanent, they are not everlasting. Life doesn't get you what you want to be, if you put on worry, wrestling within yourself, hurt, self defect, and a lot more. They will not help you, they will only keep you down. When you got a problem, just a short recap I'm doing from last week lecture. If you got a problem which everyone has and everyone will always have, you don't want to cry over it, worry over it, weep over it. You just want to be joyful, because with joy, you have an understanding. That means your psychology is intact. You know how to find a solution. Even if you don't know how, some kind of idea of how will come, and you will have the how to solve that problem. No worry, cries, hurts, pains of whatever the condition of nature solves problems. Certainly not. It doesn't. If it would ever provide you solution in the reversal, setback, hurt, pains, and then you just name all of those things that you have experienced at different times in your life. And we said last week, it sounds foolhardy if you're telling people who got problem to be joyful, to be happy. What sense does that make? Well, you would think from a human perspective, it doesn't make sense. Yes, you are right. But it does make sense, because that is the only option you got. When we have a problem, we need not worry, because worrying doesn't solve the problem. We need to just keep our psychology intact and find a means and be joyful that a solution is possible, and not to put in doubt. That means it is not possible. So I wouldn't make any attempt. Joyful means that you are alive. One, two, you know that there is every possibility for a solution, and that solution comes from your mentor or your thinking, and you start to think, and ultimately you find a solution. What gives you that is the joy of self-control that you put on. We talk about people who had problems of different nature, and given the magnitude of the problem or the size of the problem, they weren't downbeat. They remain upbeat, because they understood that they are human beings too. If they can solve it, nobody will solve it for them, because it is their problem. Hence, they had to face up to it, and they kept their composure intact, and they did found a solution. Just as success is unto you and not the next person, so it is with problem. When you got a problem, it is unto you. It is for you. You solve it. The same way, when you have success, the success is unto you and you enjoy it. You feel so good. You look at people You say all manner of things joyously from in out. So if you got a problem the same way, the problem is unto you. Just as you enjoy success, you should equally be ready to solve problem when it can, because it is your responsibility. It is nobody responsibility. With that short recap, let's get into what we've got this morning. Again, thank you for joining us. Those of you who are just coming on, this is Kings 88.5 Weekend Motivational Talk. Unleash your potential. Unleash your potential. Unleash means to bring out. Why bring out? Because it is within every one of us, the ability, the vision, the decision, the how those words that the Pentecostal people can use are trying to find to use some. But everything is within you. So you have to bring it out. That what unleash is. You have to stir it out. The very God and the very Bible, the very God that we serve, speak of unleashing one's potential from Genesis to Revelation. Paul spoke of it. Titus, Epaphroditus, Silvanus, all of those guys. Jesus Christ spoke of unleashing your potential. It is based on that God does not work for anybody until you work for yourself. When you work for yourself, when you do what you ought to do, then he comes in. But he does not go to do for you while you sit. The reason he needs you to unleash your potential, because he imputed the potential. It is only when you can bring it out that you will not have a solution. So you unleash it because it is there to bring out. This morning, we are focusing on friendship, partnership, association, whichever way you can call it. Friendship, imperative for your advancement, my advancement, her advancement, his advancement. Friendship, imperative. I chose the word intentionally. I could have used the word importance, as many would do, but it already implies, the word importance applies, or it implies, it's already there. So I need not use importance, but rather substitute importance for imperative. Imperative explains the compelling need to do. Hence, there is every opportunity, blessing, favor attached to it. 1. 2, no one is an island. Everybody needs everybody to advance, depending on the situation, your situation, my situation. Tell it. The creator of the universe, God, placed emphasis on friendship. He made friendship imperative. Even he actualized that when he was evident enough. He said, I call you friends. And not only that, but he was with people. He was with just friends. You need partnership. You need friend or friends. It is imperative in your advancement, my advancement, his advancement. You want to ask whether it is an option? Very nice question. Well, if you think it is an option, then it can be optional, because the decision is unto you. So it's optional. Yes, you can decide. But from an existential standpoint, you can exist without partnership. You need partnership, you need friendship, you need association, you need just everything that gives that existential aliveness. That is why I thought to share it institutionally, given our observation of society. Friendship, imperative for our advancement. Let's look at the word friendship from a literal standpoint, which means a state of being a friend, association as friends. If that is true, then we accept it. Multiple definitions to that. If you in your research lab and you are researching friendship, you have more than 100, 150, 200 different definitions. And all of those definitions you will have put together will be right. Absolute, 100%. No doubt about it. You will have multiple definitions. With this, in my estimation, I think the best definition of this word, friendship, is impact. That's what I think in my reasoning, in my researching of this lecture, having gathered several definitions, look over them over and over, and then I literally push all of those definitions aside, having looked at all of them and figure out all of them explaining one word: impact. It gives me the understanding that friendship is all impact. If you look around you, you'll see that where you are, your association, interaction, everywhere, you'll see impact of different kinds. So I thought that the best and clearest definition that I can use for this lecture this morning of friendship is impact. Friendship is not just form or establish for impact, because that is the essence, but it goes beyond that. That impact goes with difference. The difference is what you can see in your life, what you can see in your friend's life. Simply put, what I would say, reciprocity or reciprocal impact. So if you want to take friendship, if you want to take that as a definition for friendship, yes, reciprocal impact. Doesn't it make sense? It does. That is another definition. So I can say it this way as a definition: friendship is reciprocal impact. Difference on me and me or my difference on the next person. Before we get into the crux of this, Let me share with you a couple of friends or different categories of friendship, of very few different categories of friendship before going further on the imperative of friendship, which is good for one's advancement. Are you ready? Let's get to the first one. Best friend, best friend, best friend, best friend, best friend. You've heard this expression, as I have heard many times, best friend. And people say it with every ounce of their being. Best friend, excitedly, motivated, joyful, ecstatic, and on and on. Best friend. They even use the word bestie. You've heard that also. It's my bestie, a reference for a companion. And companionship is the same as friendship, and friendship means impact. People who know this, they just don't make friends, but they make friend. Did you get it? I said people who know dates, they make friends, but they go on to make friend. You can have friends, but within that category, you have impactful friend. So let's go with the first category. Best friend, best friend, best friend, bestie. She's my bestie. Oh, that my bestie there. Me and a woman, we've been together for, I can say 10 years now. Oh, that my partner there, and my G's mate, referring to friendship. But how they say it, from their understanding, it's not what comes out. Or it is their understanding. Best friend. A best friend is that person you see the characteristic or characteristic as you have. As you have. Do you know what people get closer? Why a person gets closer to the next person? Various reasons, but I am being contextual here. Some people get to people based on what they have. People form friendship on what they see of the next person, that he has little cash, she has little cash, she is fame driven, he is fame driven, or that he is popular within the community or on campus or at workplace, or just any one of those things. But it goes beyond that. People get knitted to people, form friendship, partnership based on characteristics. You want to do an observation, do your research in yourself, by yourself, of yourself, with other people. You will come to the realization that you wanted to befriend certain person, and they opted not to accept your friendship. You've heard people say, this lady is selfish. She doesn't like people friendship. He doesn't like to come around people. He's self-centered. You have heard people passing on judgment on people. And others who have not the reasoning ability, don't have the philosophy, meaning the reasoning ability to look at the situation. No exposure isn't there. Soon agree with that person who is saying damningly of that lady that she's selfish. The man is self-centered. He ain't let people friendship. He can't come around people. So we're not going around. That person they have passed judgment on is right. What they do not know, the person is looking at or have observed their characteristics, and their characteristics do not match his. Hence, if they came together, there will be problems of all kinds, as you see of other people. What do they say? They say birds of the same feather flock together. But not all of the times birds of the same feather flock together. There are exceptions. The person gets connected to you based on characteristic or characteristics. What the impact stem from? Characteristics. Before a person gets connected to you, they observe. Some of you ladies, some of you gentlemen, as you say, and let me use that demographic, young ladies and young boys, you take on the observation. You'll see the lady, the younger is in the community, but she isn't with many friends, but there are many young people there. And she is comfortable with a given person, and not everybody, but everybody is judging her for being self-centered, that she's only interacting with that one person. She comes and she asks for that person. All of the time she asking, she bringing the person into her presence and a lot more. And the others are saying it. They observe and they reach the conclusion she's selfish and all of those. You have seen that. Sometimes they will even use is Congo attitude. Yeah, Congo attitude. That lady isn't selfish. That boy isn't self-centered. What you see happening is observation, this outcome of observation. She may have observed almost all of the people over there, the young people like herself, and she soon realized that her characteristics are by far different, not even similar. Hence, if she took a decision to get close, her characteristics might be contaminated, and there will not be the impact that she wants. So the vision will be distorted. Her vision will be distorted. Don't get vexed with people when you see that. Respect them for that. When they see a characteristics worthy of getting close to you, that characteristic will draw them. Characteristics are just like magnet. They draw. And when I say characteristics, I mean positive characteristics that people are attracted to, that appeal to people reasoning to get you closer to them, or they find a means to get closer to you. And when they get closer to you, you're going to see the difference. You're going to see the impact. Best friend thinks of the other and spends resourceful time on how to make a difference. A best friend will spend time thinking of the next person. If you have an experience, well, it happened and it stay happening in Liberia, least to talk about every part of the world. You would think it does not make sense for somebody to think of another person. Well, that's the impact. That's the shared characteristics. So the person is thinking. Sarah is sitting in her living room and she running, her thought is running through a number of things about the next friend positively. wanting to make an impact. In less than no time, she takes her phone and call her friend and say, can you come over at my house? Not necessarily that she has a money to give or anything, but she's going to share her vision that she had been thinking. She made her friend the project, the thinking project for that period. What that means is she put her interest aside, took her friend concern and start to think because she knows the situation. So she said, you want to come over? And then the friends go over and start to talk about life advancement, about days, the hurdles, and everything. You see, she will start to ask questions like this: how is life going with you? How is life going with you? A friend who asks that question always comes from the best friend category. A best friend is concerned about that person's future, is concerned of helping, which we call the impact, in her little resources or her ability. Every time you hear that question, even though we use it today just to get, oh yeah, but it is principally intended to know for inserting oneself in the situation. So the first question goes after the greetings: how is life with you? And then the answer goes, and then she nods her head, and then say, okay, I see. Is that all? The person say, okay, we'll see what we can do. And that person, that lady will not say that simply because she wants to say it, but will now start to find ways and means by which she can be of help to her friend. Another reason for that, she wants her friend, though they can be on the same level, but have appreciable life, that she wouldn't feel comfortable where she is, what she is, and her friend, who is her friend, and she made no impact, and the friend is in such a condition. Go out of Liberia, see those ladies. They are there. They're concerned about their friend welfare. They're asking several questions. They're even doing things unknown to the friend. Best friend, take up resourceful thinking. That's what a best friend does. It's not just normal. It is not just normal to have a few best friends. It's not just normal to have a few best friends, and that you must pursue. You need real impactful friends. And they are in this category, and they are the ones we're talking about. Life advancement is not by isolation, but partnership, association, friendship. Life advancement is not by isolation. If anybody can live in isolation, or if you know anybody who have lived in isolation, please share that person with me, and that will be a good research for me for another lecture. I don't think you will find that person, because no one, since God created the world, people try doing that. They can. Some people try it by staying indoor all through, and along the way, they had to come out and call somebody because they had the urge, they felt the urge to speak to somebody, to have a lecture with somebody, to have somebody being with them for a few minutes or more. No one. You call somebody that you needed, that they should get you dates. or how do you get that? That interaction is no longer one person affair. So no one has ever lived in isolation, and no one can live in isolation. Everybody lives with everybody. Life advancement is not by isolation, but friendship. If you want to advance in life, you have to form friendship. And what I mean, you don't just have anybody, you have best friend, and friendship is for impact. Each friendship means impact, making a difference on each other. That's the friendship category. The next category is casual friends. Casual friend. Observationally, they are good. They are good based on my experience, but not yours. You have your experience, but what I can honestly say to you this morning, they are good friends. You don't necessarily see regularly, but will always connect. You will always connect with them when they are around. They are casual friends. Or we can put it in this category, which will mean the same, occasional friends, meaning friends that you don't meet often. They are not in the office with you, that you people meet every day on campus. You share classes together, you share some extra activities together. You know what I mean? Just meeting all of the time? No. Casual friends are usually there when you need them. Casual friends are usually there when you need them, even if they are not the person you go to during difficult times. They are there. Casual friends may be friends at work, people from your church, your community, different community, organization, sporting events, just anywhere. Meaning you people don't see often. You people only see once in a blue moon. And you hear expressions like this: oh, Joe, good, God, damn, man, for years, I've not seen you. Look at you, man, you look so good. What have you been, man? You've seen it, you've heard conversation like that. What that person is explaining by all that expressions, casual. They weren't meeting often. And so the meeting is always accidental. The meeting is always, their meeting, casual friends meeting is always accidental. Either they will bump into each other in the traffic, or they will come across each other at an event. It's always accidental. It's never planned, because you don't know. And this kind of friend, if he or she is in the position, capacitated, knowing of the next person's condition, is ready to help. You hear the person say, oh, so what can I do? Oh, we need to do something about this. Please. Not much I can do, but, oh, we came a long way. I think I must. Please accept my resolve to be of help to you. Here is my card. Call me less than 30 minutes. I will be expecting the call. And when that call goes in, the person is ready. I say, come over. Let's do it. Why? Because both parties know that they're not going to meet often or regularly again. That was the opportune time by accident. It wasn't planned. So the two take advantage of the moment. Casual friends are good. All of us have had casual friends. And I should tell you, Casual friends can become regular friends along the way, depending on the situation. Sometimes the person would say, "Oh, I'm moving XYZ community," and the next person say, "Oh, but there's where I live." Say, "Oh, you live in that same community that I'm moving in? Oh, that's good." But then we're going to be, and truly, when the person moves, they become regular friends. The next is secondhand friends. Secondhand friends. Secondhand. Secondhand friends are friends of friends. They are those people you only run into at social events. They might be a college, or they might be booty of a close friend. They are also good. The secondhand friend or friends are also good depending on the nature or the environment. Secondhand friends are unlikely to know your deep secrets. That's one thing about this category. What that means is, or let me explain it this way so that you understand it good. Secondhand friend is why sometimes we say second guessing. Second guessing is where you take the information from another person and you are using it. So it is the same with friend. Second-hand friend is a friend of a friend to you. That what a second-hand friend is. Say someone is a friend to me, or John Josiah is a friend to me, and John Josiah has a friend. That friend becomes a second-hand friend to me, not close, not best friend, not close friend. It's through John Josiah that I got to know. So the intimacy, the closeness between John Josiah and I would not be the same with that second-hand friend. It would just be greetings, a lecture. The conversation with John Josiah and I wouldn't be the conversation with the second-hand friend, because there is an existing disconnect, not close connect. But they are good. They are also good. Just like casual friends, they are also good. The next category is shared interest friends. Shared interest friends. SHARED. Shared interest friends. Shared interest friends. They have good characteristics too. And again, I will always say it depends on the situation, depends on the environment, depends where you are. Having a hobby, which means preference, desire, can lead to all kinds of new connections. The interest, the desire, the preference, whatever that you have can lead to all kinds of new connections. Share interest friends. If your regular friend group doesn't appreciate your love for certain activity, the share interest friends are great to have. It's as simple to understand. You hear the person say, "Oh, let's go to the basketball game," and the next person will say, "No, man, no, I don't like it. I like basketball game. I'm going there." But that friend wants to go, so the friend will say, "Okay, no problem." The friend goes to the basketball game, and what happens? The friend comes across people who have the same preference, the share interest, and start to interact with them. On a social note, you get good friends too from this category, share interest. You get good friends. Not all will be good friends, but you get good friends. And let me just inject this for a laughter. Don't take that serious, but it can happen. Some lost their relationships based on that. Because if the lady comes across a person, a shared interest, meaning they're sharing the same interest, sporting interest, and depending on the conversation, she feels that the person she has isn't that sporting, doesn't have the sporting hobby or preference or desire. The person, she will soon see that friend of hers as antisocial, introvert, and not extrovert. So she now, her preference, her shared interest, or her interest being shared with this interest on the same level, she tends to get closer. And that's why you see when they leave the gathering, they find time in isolated area to call that friend that they are of the same preference. Share interest friends don't often mix with your other friends, especially at first. They don't go, but they have that interest as you have too. Sporting, going out, just everything social. They don't mix often with your other friends or group friends or casual friends or best friend, and they are not best friends. They are not best friends. Share interest friends are not best friends. Share interest simply means the interest that I have, you have the same interest, or you have interest in that category. I love football. That's my interest. I love football. But I do not love Liberian football. But I love football, so I have sporting interest. The other person loves Liberia football, and that is a sporting interest. We all fall in the same category. I love European football, so I devote my time to watching European football. I do not watch African football because I do not have preference for African football. But a friend of mine has preference, desire for African football. All of us, we have shared interests. We are all in the sporting category. So in terms of impact, since I do not like, if my friend noticed that I do not like African football, Liberian football, he will find a way by which we'll be watching small. And that goes with a psychological persuasion. Oh, this team is good. This team has XYZ players. You need to watch. The team plays well. That's why I like to watch this team play. And you go there and say, okay, let's take advantage. We're going to watch one game. The game is interesting. Or that he says, you see it, you start developing that desire. So one day you will take your telephone and say, well, we need to go and watch this Liberian game. That's how it works. Then, lastly, as we gradually wind down, long distance friends, nothing, absolutely nothing says close friends have to live within a short distance of each other. No, nothing says that. That close friends have to live within a short distance of each other. No. The people you feel connected to might be from your school days, college days, workplace, live together for several years in a certain place, or attended events occasionally with years in between. A long distance friends. Also, long distance friends by technology. What we have today. People sit right in Liberia and they are talking with people in Europe, in America, in Southeast Asia, in the Middle East, just everywhere. They are friends. They're talking. And what is the medium? Technology, distance friends. People put pictures up so that they will see. People look at pictures and say, oh, this person, and they try tracing that person and say, I saw your XYZ, your photo, and I want us to be friends. Say, yes, we can be friends. But they are not together. They are not close. There is nothing intimate, but rather they are disconnected, but they have the medium called technology, long distance friends. So you want to ask the question, Sam Andrews, are they impactful? My response will be yes, depending on the situation, because nothing in life is absolute. I wouldn't sit here and tell you there is every absolute possibility or certainty. It depends on the situation because people are different and people change situationally depending on the stimuluses that work for and against human existence. So those are the few categories. So what I need you to know, don't live your life in isolation. Form partnership, make friendship, but friendship is for impact. Friendship is not necessarily for existence. We all exist, but you want to make friend for impact, for a difference. Friendship means impact. When that word friendship, it simply means impact. And people who know that very well, they don't make anybody their friend or friends. When you see people, certain group of people together, they've been together for years, for months, years, and they stay together. It's based on impact. They have shared responsibility for each other. They have shared preference for each other. They share in each other concern or difficulties or good times. They are there for each other. They take the risks for each other. And that category is best friend category. Friendship, the definition, the best definition, as I was researching dates, having gathered all of those definitions, put them aside, and just arrive at one word: impact. Impact. You need friend. You need impactful friend. Impactful friend helps you to charter a good course for the future. An impactful friend wants to see your education advancement, your business advancement, and every other thing, just as he is. A friend who is capacitated wants to see that best friend be capacitated. So what he does, he uses or she uses her friendship. That means to make a difference. And that difference is inserting herself, inserting himself in that friend situation. It is vice versa. If you must advance in life, it's not just making friends. When you have many friends, you have brought onto yourself many problems. You have brought onto yourself many problems. And when I say problems, I mean wahala, to put it in, to use the Liberian parlance, many wahala. You will have this other complaint will come, your name in this, your name in that, they're calling you, distracting you from what you are doing, and all those things as we see in our society. It is better people tell you that you are selfish, which I understand to be positive, because I consider that to be righteous selfishness, if that is a word. But if people consider you selfish, consider it a righteous decision, because it saves you from a lot more wahala. And the one or two friends that you have, they are impactful. They help you get along life well. And we have many people like that in our culture. Too many people in our culture like that today. They don't make many friends. They have not many friends. They have few friends, but few impactful friends. A best friend can take a telephone and call and say, brother, this is the situation I got. I need your help. And the friend goes on to explain the situation. And when he concludes his explanation, you hear from that friend on the other side of the telephone, count on me. I'm with you in this. Meaning, I am getting involved to help you out. That person, the friend who is receiving, the recipient of the information, is not going to request anything, doesn't want anything but the friendship, the impact. And when he concludes what he's doing, he makes up time to move to that friend. She makes up time to move to her friend to help. That's what it is. Lastly, friendship, and I should say impactful friendship, goes with blessing or has supernatural blessing attached to it. Impactful friendship has supernatural blessing to it. Impactful friendship has supernatural blessing to it. You want to keep your friendship intact and don't have many friends, but have impactful friends. All of us need friends, but you need friends that can get you out of difficulties. You need friends that can give you pieces of advice to advance your life, advance your business, your education, and a lot more. Impactful friends are futuristic thinkers, and just as they have thought about their life and their life moves from one level to another, they compel themselves, push themselves without envy, jealousy to the next person, so that friend will advance to in whatever he or she wants to pursue. On top of that, you want to find friend who can help you find happiness. A friend you have known since childhood, a friend who always make you laugh. You need that phrase to a good friend, and you have that. Some people have that. Some people have friends. They just like to talk to people to get them laughing and just sounding therapeutic. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Even God spoke of that. It's good. Yeah, you need friends who will always make you laugh. It's psychological. It takes away whatever you have. A friend who can go a while without talking to without the friendship, suffering. A friend, you can tell anything. A friend, I'm not saying friends, a friend, you can tell anything. And this is where they say bestie, but today, trust no bestie. Trust no bestie. I cannot advise you to take your secrets to bestie, because today, all of the besties are unpredictable. In fact, the besties now, the one you call besties, are the real chichipole, are the real broadcasters. They will broadcast your deep secrets to all of their friends. But you need that friend. And when I say that friend, you know what I've been talking about. Impactful friend. A friend, a trusted friend, a covalent bond friend. A friend you can tell anything. A friend that is like a family. A friend you can imagine life without. A friend you can tell all your relationship problems. Again, it takes us back to the best friend category. Friendship, you need it for advancement in life, but not just anybody as your friend. You need that friend. You need that man. You need that woman who can make a difference, and you can make a difference in that woman's life, in that man's life. Both of you can make a difference in each other's life. That is what friendship is. Friendship is for impact. Friendship is for difference. Friendship is shared characteristics. You have that characteristic. The person sees that this characteristic this person has, I have that same characteristics or similar, hence we are together. Do you know why God said in Amos 3:3, can two work unless they agree? Many will put that on vision, to some extent, the right, but it is mainly based on characteristics. Look how he said it. He said, can two walk together unless they agree? There should be shared commonality. In the absence of that, look at that verse 2. It can work. You can. You need an impactful friend. An impactful friend needs your impact, the difference to move. Too many people, too many impactful friends. We see the impact. You see the impact, your testimony of it in Liberia, around the world, that they may show that this person advanced based on the friendship. The lady may show that her friend advanced based on the friendship and that impact right there. Even God himself, to spiritualize the closing part of this lecture, what did God say? He laid emphasis on friendship. And as you see it in the Bible, it means the same thing I'm talking about, impact. God was referring to impact and not just numbers. Proverbs 17, verse 17, look it up. Proverbs 17, verse 17. What did he say? He excluded family and brought in non-family. Look at it. What was he referencing? Impact, not number, that you have many friends. In the wisdom of God, many friends. Problem. Single friend, realistic, shared characteristics, impact. Proverbs 27:17. Look how he said it. Impact again. A difference. Iron sharpen iron. So a man sharpen the countenance of who? His friend. His friend. Impact. These lines, and I can share with you very many, all of them pointing to one word, impact. That what friendship is all about. Iron sharpen iron. So a man sharpen the countenance of another man. What is the countenance? It's not the reference. It's not the person body as you saying me. No, it's a reference for the mind. The mind. God is not referencing the body, as you say, me, you say the countenance. Sometimes when they use the word countenance, it's a reference for your body. They look at you and say that person is not too okay, man. The person and say, but what happened? What are you saying that? Say, I'm looking at his countenance, meaning his body movement, his body, this. But this line I have just shared with you, it is not what God is referencing. He is referring to impact of friendship. Iron sharpen iron. Now watch it. He said, a man sharpen the countenance of another man. How the man does it, it comes from his mind to the next person. And that next person is independent. That next person advances to the next level. That's impact. That's what friendship is. When you're saying friendship, you're saying impact. You're saying difference. You're saying deference. You don't want to make anybody your friend. It is not to say you are selfish, you are self-centered. No, it only means that you make friend so that you make impact on that person's life, and that person makes impact on your life, and both of you lives advance. Not friendship is not for retrogression. No, absolutely not. Friendship is not a retrogression. If you have a friend or you have friends and you are retrogressing in life, then you need to check your decision. You need to go back into your room and take a strong observation. The problem would not be from the people, it would be from you. Life is for advancement. Friendship is for advancement. When you have many friends and your life is retrogressing, your life is not moving as it ought to be, the friends are not your problem. You are your problem because you went for number and not impact. Friendship is key. And that's our lecture for this morning, Kings 88.5. Saturday morning motivational talk, unleash your potential. Friendship, imperative for our advancement. I opted not to use the word importance, which is repetitive in most lectures today, but imperative because that is exactly what it is. Thank you for joining us for this lecture, Kings 88.5 weekend motivational talk, unleash your potential. If God permits, we're back next week, Saturday. Join us if you can. I'm Sam Andrews.
Unleash your potential. Unleash your potential, reach for the stars, electric dreams align, show them who you are, unleash your potential. Yo, 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 let's go, 1, 2, 3, unleash and grow.
Welcome to the Expanding Your Energy Field Activation.
Embrace the vibe, set it free, your potential unlocked, just believe. Psychedelic journeys, hearts aligned, step into the future, greatness redefined. Unleash your potential, set your dreams free. In a world of stars, become who you want to be. Stand tall in the storm, embrace the rain, ride the wave of success, break every chain.
Welcome to the Expanding Your Energy Field Activation.
Unleash your potential.
From the latest news to your favorite tunes, we've got your back morning, night, and afternoon.